2 days ago, in a continued effort to slow the spread of the coronavirus, the president announced an extension of federal guidance on social distancing through the end of April 2020. I'm here to provide an update to the video I posted 2 weeks ago on the impacts of COVID-19 on the real estate market and share a broader view of some of my thoughts. As the shelter-in-place mandate has been in effect well over 2 weeks at this point, many businesses have shut down and the unemployment rate have skyrocketed. With the shelter-at-home order being extended, I want to share some thoughts on the long-term repercussion of social isolation. Danny Lau here with Lion Real Estate, empowering individuals and families with financial success through real estate. The following discussion extends beyond the scope of real estate. Please note what I share here is largely my personal opinion and should not be taken as any form of advice. Shelter in place has been enforced as a means to minimize the coronavirus outbreak and flatten the curve, meaning keep the daily number of disease cases at a manageable level for the healthcare system. While sheltering in place is currently the best option to protect the health of our global population, sheltering in place has already had dramatic economic effects, and any further social isolation could potentially lead to long-lasting economic damages. Take the restaurant business as an example. On the consumer end, restaurants shutting down or switching to takeout-only business model has left hundreds of thousands of restaurant workers without an income. Not only are restaurant workers and the restaurant owners affected, produce distribution companies, fresh meat companies, farmers, the entire supply chain have lost their distribution avenues. On the back end, some of these restaurants are having trouble paying bills that are due or rent that may be delayed, which affects the landlord of these businesses. If a landlord owns the property outright, it may not hurt as much. But if they have a mortgage on the company, the landlord may be forced to default on their loan. If landlords default on their loans, this impacts banks and creditors. The domino effect is in full force. Take Macy's as another example. Yesterday, Macy's announced the furlough of 125,000 employees. That's a piece of heart-wrenching news. Sure, Macy's is trying to mitigate damages by extending their employees' healthcare coverage through May, but there's still 125,000 people, and their rents, mortgages, car payments, childcare services, etc. that's now being jeopardized, leading to a vicious cycle. There's a domino effect to the economy. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. If an unemployment rate continues to skyrocket and a lot of people default on their mortgages, people will be likely to hesitate to spend. Once spending freezes up in the economy, spending does not get restarted by itself. This is Keynesian Economics 101. In this scenario, the government will need to step in to be a buyer, artificially creating a demand to reignite the economy. In other words, this is not limited to individuals or mom-and-pop stores. This will affect some of the biggest companies on the planet. Using my previous example, what if the restaurant landlords isn't a person, but an institutional fund? In other words, street investors could have invested into a REIT that have invested into restaurant buildings. Thus, defaulting a commercial building on the other side of the nation can potentially be sitting in your retirement account. It just hasn't alerted you yet. You're not isolated. What about sales tax on the sales of restaurants that provide funding to the city? If city income dwindles, what happens to tax-free municipal bonds that provides the backbone to institutional investors or university endowments or retirement pensions? Some of the most secure pensions will likely be affected. What I've presented is a worst-case scenario. Yes, from a healthcare perspective, it is impossible to put a value on human life. Yes, it is extremely important to protect high-risk individuals from this disease. Yes, healthcare system is overwhelmed, but the economy coming to a halt has an expensive and long-lasting effect, and this may not be evident immediately. No one can survive on zero income. We do not know how long people and businesses can last on their liquidity before a segment of the economy starts to crack, leading to chain effects. If we lose this game of liquidity Russian roulette and let the economy fall off a cliff, It will have long, devastating consequences, breaking down the economy. The sooner our economy can begin moving forward again, the sooner we'll be able to get the recovery started. However, the window for that to happen is closing fast. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. Normally, I would say you can set up time with me to grab a cup of coffee so we can discuss how real estate can fit into your financial picture. Instead, I'm happy to offer a video call to maintain healthy social distancing. Of course, if you enjoy my video, like it, share it, and tell other people about it. This is Danny Lau. See you next time.